welcome back to math class. Okay, so this week we have been talking about data and graphing, right? So when we're collecting data, we're getting all kinds of information, right? And then when we're using graphs, we're organizing that information, okay? So that it's easy to understand and easy to read, okay? So we've talked about two types of graphs this week. The first one we talked about was what? Does anybody remember? That's right, a bar graph. Okay, so then we've also talked about a different type of graph. Does anybody remember what that graph is? That's right, a tally mark graph. Okay, so this week what we're going to do, or I'm sorry, not this week, today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about another tally graph. Okay, so this is a different way that we can read information, okay? So this graph is going to look a little different than the ones that we've done yesterday and on Monday because this data is already collected and now we're going to answer questions about it, okay? So before we've been looking at the data and then we've been organizing it. Well, now the data is already collected for us and they've made the tally mark graph for us, and now we have to use that information to answer some questions. All right, so are you ready to dive in? Here we go. Okay, so here is my paper for today, and we are looking at garden flowers. And as you can see, the first thing I do is always the same. I pick up my pencil and I write my name. So what we're looking at today, boys and girls, is we are looking at the different types of flowers. They've done daisies and they've done tulips, okay? So, and if you don't know what those are, they've also included a picture for us, okay? So, does anybody remember what these right here are called? That's right, tallies, okay? So what we have to do is we're gonna look at this information and we are gonna write how many there are, okay? So, does anybody remember we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we close the gate. So how many is that? That's right, 5. So now I know that this is 5. So I'm going to count on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write a 9. Okay? So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at the tulips. So again, I see that I have one where they close the gate, right? So in my mind, I know automatically that that is 5. So now I'm going to count on 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, that was close. And we can even tell, look, do you see how this one has one more? So what's one less than 9? That's right, 8. So that's how we could figure that out. So now let's come over to our first question. And it says, how many tulips are in the garden? Well, that's really easy because I've already answered that. So how many? 8. Very good. Now I'm going to come to number 2. How many, I don't remember that word, daisies are in the garden? Well, that's easy because look, thanks to my data, I already know. So I'm going to write a 9. Now it says how many tulips and daisies are there all together? What does the word all together tell me, friends? Do we remember what that key word means? That's right, it means that we're adding. So we have to add them together, okay? So, boys and girls, I'm going to cheat a little, okay? Because remember, we have to add these together. Well, these are already in my groups of 5. So how many, what can I count by if these are in groups of 5? You're right, I can count by 5s. So 5, 10. So these together right here, I know that's 10. So now I just have to count on. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So how many flowers are there all together? 9 plus 8 equals 17. And remember, numbers in the teens, they start with a 1. Okay, so now let's see. I'm going to use my pointer power. How many more daisies are there than tulips? So how many more daisies do I have than tulips? Well, I have 9 daisies and I have 8 tulips. So how many more? That's right, I just have 1 more. Very good. So now, boys and girls, we're going to decide, it's asking us a true or false question. And we've talked about true or false. True means that we can prove it, right? And false means that it's not true. Okay, it's fake, right? So what we're going to do is it says there are fewer tulips than daisies. Circle your answer. So is it true that there are fewer? What does fewer mean, boys and girls? That's right, it means that it's smaller, like my number is getting smaller, right? So is it true that there are fewer tulips than daisies? It is true. So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to circle that. So do you see how, boys and girls, I was able to look at the data that was collected, and because it was organized so nicely, I was then able to answer questions about it very easily. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to get your very own page. And your page is going to look like this, okay? So it's going to be a lot like the pages that we did yesterday and the day before. So you're going to look at the dinosaurs, you're going to make a tally chart, and then you're going to graph it, okay? So let's go ahead and let's look at these together. So really quickly, let's look at this dinosaur right here, the long neck. So let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many of those am I gonna do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, what do I do? That's right, close the gate. 5, 6. So do we remember how to make tally marks? Okay, so you're gonna do the rest of them and then you're gonna come down here. Does anybody remember what this is called? A bar graph. Way to go, kiddos. Okay, have so much fun. And remember, when you're finished, you can have mom and dad take a picture of you with your paper and you can send it to your teacher. We would love to see it. All right, love you guys. Bye.